Thanks again, Bob. Well, a lot of excitement here for USA athletes and coaches. Still savoring that victory by John Smith of the United States. But we've got a big one coming up here right now. Andre Metzger of the United States in the red singlet will be going against Arsen Fadzaev of the Soviet Union. Fadzaev looked at as the #1 wrestler in the world. Informal poll taken by coaches and athletes at the World Championship last year. They said he had the best technique, was the most aggressive, dominated his opponent. He's the best there is. He's won over 100 matches in a row, has not suffered a defeat in over 3 years, so this be quite an assignment for Andre Metzger. But this young man from the United States is very, very set on beating Arsen Fadzaev. Fadzaev gets the first score, takes that front headlock, and turns Andre Metzger to his back. Metzger has started slow before and still won. But Arsen Fadzaev, a very sound technical wrestler with a lot of ability and a lot of confidence right now after all those years of never having lost in this sport. Leg lace here, combination by Fadzaev, trying to get more points. Anytime you can turn your opponent to his back, you're going to pick up points in international wrestling. You get 1 point for the takedown and 2, 3, or 4 points if you turn him to his back, depending upon how you do it. We got more of that exciting volleyball game coming up between Bulgaria and United States, so stay with us. Andre Metzger, he's wrestled over 1,700 matches in his career. I asked him what kept him going. Why did he keep wrestling? And he said, guys like Fadzaev keep me going. I've got to beat him. I want to prove that I'm the best. He's always in shape, always ready to go, so maybe this will be the day. His teammate John Smith has already won. I'm sure he'd like to get the gold medal as well. Minute and 40 seconds remaining in this first period in international wrestling. 2 periods of 3 minutes each. They used to be longer. Just after the 80 Olympics, shortened from 9 minutes to 6. Sometimes I think to accommodate the Soviets, who've not always been in the greatest of shape. Back into that leg lace. Got the ankles twisted over. Metzger counters, but in the process is hipped over to his back. Fadzaev of the Soviet Union will get 2 points for that maneuver. Andre Metzger comes up with his first point, a 1-point reversal. A change of the control position. He'll get 1 point for that. Action stop. 1 minute, 5 seconds remaining in this first period. Arsen Fadzaev of the Soviet Union leading 4-1. Young man there looking on. Fadzaev in on a single leg. Andre Metzger countering out. Reaches behind that far thigh. Metzger keeps the whizzer, but Fadzaev gets the 1 point for the takedown. Coach Dan Gable doesn't often show a lot of emotion, but he's with you all the way. Got a little excited in that match at 136 when young John Smith won. They're brought back to their feet. 35 seconds to go here in the first period. Andre Metzger right now an assistant coach at Indiana University. Metzger may be showing Fadzaev a little too much respect here, really not doing much to set him up. Fadzaev getting in on the leg, doing most of the attacking. Time running down. There you see Ivan Urigan, national coach for the Soviet Union. He's been in that position for a number of years. Will probably stay there through 1988. There we have the end of the first period. Arsen Fadzaev of the Soviet Union ahead. A look at the crowd. Andre Metzger of the United States out of Bloomington, Indiana, 2-time USA national champion. He was also the outstanding wrestler for the United States this past year in the national tournament. I asked him why when he started wrestling so young and did it so many years, how could he stay in the sport so long?
People like Fadzaev keep me going. I mean, you know, I wanna hammer on him because he's beat me, and you know, he doesn't just beat you physically, and he doesn't just beat you on the scoreboard as far as that goes. you know, it's further. It goes to your heart, you know, because somebody's actually outscored you in a match. I don't really feel like the thing is, I don't feel like I'm beat. I feel like I get outscored. I don't think anybody's ever made me quit. And they score more points than me maybe in a match, but they don't ever make me quit.
And you're right, he is never going to quit. Right now he's down 5-1, but I've seen Andre Metzger come back before. Granted, Arsen Fadzaev is one of the best around. Right away, back in on that single leg. This is what makes him one of the best. Keeps the pressure on, very aggressive. You've got to realize how good Andre Metzger of the United States is. He's a tough wrestler. He's competed for us in the World Championships, been a medalist. He was our outstanding wrestler this year in the national tournament. And he's being controlled here by Arsen Fadzaev of the Soviet Union. Fadzaev putting pressure on here, trying to work for the turn. Referee stops the action again, brings them back to their feet in the center. Metzger needs to pick up the pace here. I'm sure when he was in the corner there during the break with Gable, he told him the same thing he told John Smith. It seemed to work pretty good with John. Keep the pressure on. That's where we have been able to beat the Soviets before. We wear them out. And I would say that Andre Metzger was probably our best conditioned athlete coming into this competition. A number of the Americans not putting in a lot of time training for the Goodwill games. Seemed like they spent more of their time in training camps. Didn't have a long training camp coming in. There's another takedown by Fadzaev of the Soviet Union. He now leads 7-1. It doesn't look like Andre Metzger is going to be able to top Fadzaev of the Soviet Union unless he really hits some big throws here. Fadzaev showing why he's the #1 wrestler in the world. Enjoys a 7-1 lead. Metzger trying to work a front headlock. Action stopped as Fadzaev's hands interlace in the singlet of Andre Metzger. Minute and 25 seconds remaining in this second period, the last period of this 149.5-pound match. The USA still has 3 more wrestlers. Another shot by Fadzaev. Metzger trying to counter out here, putting a lot of pressure on his own knee. Fadzaev scrambles behind, gets another point. Well, no point yet. They did. Yes, they did. The mat judge and mat chairman confirmed it. They gave 1 point. Metzger did do a nice job of scrambling. However, Fadzaev did get the point. He controlled him momentarily there when they went down to the mat. Metzger not quitting. As he said, not quitting. 40 seconds remaining. 3 more American wrestlers. David Schultz, Jim Shear, Bruce Baumgartner still to go in this individual gold medal competition. Perhaps Dan Gable would like to be out there again himself. I'm sure he can remember when he won the Olympics in 1972. Probably one of the most successful wrestlers ever for the United States, well, without a doubt. 181-1 in high school and college, Olympic world champion. Andre Metzger gets another point for the takedown. Still keeping that pressure on despite being behind 8-2. We'll be watching that gold medal presentation for John Smith shortly. There we have the end of the match. Arsen Fadzaev of the Soviet Union beating Andre Metzger of the United States. We'll be back in a minute. Arena for the award presentation at